Matthew Doherty is a security expert and former security service agent and managing director at Sikich. He joins us live this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
We spoke to a former Texas Ranger a half hour ago who said what they do in Texas is train teachers to carry and use weapons. Do you feel that is the answer nationwide for this rising problem of mass shootings?
It's one tool in the toolbox. I applaud school resource officers for having relationships with students so that information can come forward. In this case, as in many cases, this was a failure of the threat management system. It's a law in Texas that high schools have to have a threat management interdisciplinary team. And obviously, he had all the warning signs. He did not direct his threats towards the target or law enforcement, yet he was evidence that he was bullied, evidence of untreated mental health on his social media, and purchasing weapons. If he had had a court-ordered mental health treatment, which the threat management team could have insisted upon, then he would have been in a database, and that's a whole nother issue. Databases are very shoddy as far as being able to purchase weapons such as he did at the age of 18.
So is this something that, what can be done when this threat management team sees something? Is that something you call the police and say arrest someone before they have done anything?
Threat management teams should have clearly law enforcement as members of that team. And I believe it's the state law in Texas that all the high schools have to have that best practice of a team. Also, the physical security of the school is very suspect from what I've seen. There should be one entrance in, and with what we call a man trap, where you walk between two ballistically guarded windows. Schools really need to be more secure than they are.
Wow. But something can happen outside the school. I mean, schools are pretty exposed, are they not?
Absolutely. There should be one entrance in. There should be a security assessment on each and every school. You think that elementary schools, grade schools, there's not a security issue, but there certainly is. And clearly, the teachers have been trained in the run, hide, fight scenario. Grade schools are unique to that because you're not about to run away from your students. So hiding places, I'm sure that most of those grade schools, those grades had restrooms inside the classroom due to the age of the kids. And they have to really have a strategic approach to security at every single school. Easy access in and out, as distasteful as it is, should be barred at those schools.
Gosh, it's just when security is your business, I mean, everyone is just heartbroken by this story this morning. And I'm wondering, is your first response, you're angry, you wanted to see the doors locked, you wanted to see a security guard in this school? What was your initial reaction?
The easy access, and my initial reaction, and that gun control debate is going on, but the fact of the matter is these active shooters have shown signs of untreated mental illness typically, and yet each and every weapon, for the most part, have been legally obtained, either handed off due to a loophole from a family member, or in this case, at the age of 18, purchasing the weapons when clearly he had red flags and warning signs that should have prohibited him from buying a weapon. There are three fundamental laws in the federal law of being prohibited from buying weapons: having a restraining order against you, having a court-ordered mental health treatment, or a conviction for a violent criminal history. And that should be in a clearly background check database to prohibit those people from purchasing a weapon.
But there's mental illness in other countries, and they don't have this problem. And it's one thing to have a gun to protect your home, but what are your thoughts about allowing 18-year-olds, let's say, to buy an assault weapon?
That is a debate for the gun control debate, but it's very discerning. There's no hunting reason to have that weapon. And the fact of the matter is that argument where they could get guns anywhere, as of right now, most active assailants, active shooters, particularly in schools, those weapons were either obtained from the home or they purchased them. In other words, they were legally obtained. So clearly something's wrong where he can buy 2 assault rifles at the age of 18 with no hunting use. So again, enforce the laws that are already on the books. And clearly that's very disturbing and anger to me, frankly, that he was allowed to buy those weapons.
Matthew Doherty, we appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll have coverage of the mass school shooting all morning. You can always read more at WGNTV.com and get breaking updates through our free WGN News app.